Welcome students, I am Divya, Assistant Professor of Department of ECE. So in the previous sessions we have come across with the introduction to embedded systems, its types and what are all the broad classification as well as the sub classifications of embedded systems, and while designing those systems what are all the metrics we have to come across with and what are all the challenges we have to face in order to designing. So these are all the things which we have covered so far. So in this unit we are going to discuss about the architecture of 8051 and its programming with C. So basically what is the necessary of studying the architecture of 8051 microcontroller in this embedded systems? In the sense, I told you that it is a combination of both hardware unit as well as the software unit. So in this the hardware part is used as the, that is 8051 microcontroller is used as the hardware part in this embedded system. Clear? So what are all the contents we are going to cover in this entire unit? In the sense, we are going to cover with 8051 pins and signals. We are going to cover with 8051 pins and signals, input output ports and its circuits, external memory and counters and timers, the serial port I/O input and output, interrupts as well as programming 8051 using embedded C. So these are all the contents which we are going to cover with. And what is the contents which we are going to cover in this lecture, in this particular lecture? In the sense, it is the 8051 pins and signals and its internal architecture and the architecture of external architecture of 8051 microcontroller. So coming to the textbooks, these are all the books which you have to refer in order to study the embedded systems. So I have given you some set of books which you have to refer. So kindly note down it. By studying this course, what are the learning outcomes? In the sense, a student can understand how these pins and signals have been organized and what are all the functions of those pins as well as signals. And we have many memory devices, I/O ports, serial I/O ports. So all these things, how it is organized and how it is getting functioned and how we are embedding one software into this hardware. So these are all the outcomes which where a student can understand over here. And the next one is then coming to the topic. In the previous semester you have studied the paper called microprocessors and microcontrollers, right? So what is the meaning of microprocessor? What do you mean by this microprocessor? Why we are saying that as a microprocessor? Yes, actually the processor, central processing unit, is entirely implemented in a small chip. That's why we are saying that as a microprocessor. And now in this topic we are going to discuss about the 8051 microcontroller. What is the meaning of microcontroller? You have come across with 8051 microcontroller in the previous semester itself, right? So what is the meaning of microcontroller? It is the implementation of a computer into a single chip. So if a computer is implemented into a small chip, then it is called as a microcontroller. Clear? So here we are going to study about this 8051 microcontroller in this subject. So this is the general block diagram of your microcomputer. Generally a processor, as you know that the processor consists of three main components. One is arithmetic and logical unit and control unit and the register array. Here arithmetic and logic unit is used to perform the arithmetic as well as logical operations, and control unit is used to generate the control signals which is used to control the components which is connected to it, and register array, in the sense it is used to store the data which have been used over here temporarily. Clear? And these are all the input, output as well as memory devices which have been connected, which have been implemented along with the microprocessor inside a single chip. That's why we are saying that as a microcomputer. Okay. So now coming to the features of 8051 microcontroller. Here it is an 8-bit microcontroller. It was invented by Intel in 1983, and when it has 128 bytes of internal RAM. It consists of 128 bytes of internal RAM. RAM, in the sense it is a random access memory. Here RAM is used as a data memory over here. Why? Because here RAM is used as a data memory. Why? Because your data which has been coming as an input to process, it has to be stored temporarily over here and it has to be erased whenever it requires. So that's what we are using random access memory as a data memory over here. And in the next case, we are using 4 kilobytes of internal ROM, where this ROM is used as a, ROM is nothing but read only memory. This is used as a program memory over here. This is used as a program memory over here. Once I told you already that in embedded systems, if once your program has been loaded, that specific application could not be changed, right? So that's what we are using read only memory in that program memory. Clear? So next, coming to this 32-bit bidirectional IO ports. Here this 32-bit bidirectional IO ports will not be used as it is. It is divided into 4 8-bit ports. Okay, this 32-bit bidirectional IO ports is divided into 4 8-bit ports. Clear? And next, coming to this timer bar counter, it consists of 2 timers. One is represented as T0 and the another one is represented as T1 over here. So this each and every timer consists of 16 bits. Okay, and now coming to the serial interface, that is, it is undergoing the serial communication. Your microcontroller is undergoing the serial communication and it is using UART, nothing but universal asynchronous receiver transmitter. Okay, it is using UART as a serial UART device as a serial communication device for a serial communication. Okay, and the next one is clock frequency of, you are supposed to generate clock frequency of 11.0592 megahertz for the usage in order to generate the clock signals. So we are supposed to generate this clock frequency using the oscillators over here, and we are adding external 8-bit of data bus as well as 16-bit of address bus over here. Clear? And next, coming to the pins and signals of 8051 microcontroller, I told you that we have 40 pins of here we have 40 pins actually for 8051. So those 40 pins have been divided into 2 sections, pin number 1 to 20 at one side and pin number 21 to 40 at another side. Okay, so I told you that the 32-bit of bidirectional IO ports will be divided into 4 8-bit ports, right? So it is given by pin number 1 to 8 as port 1. So this part is at port 1. And pin number 21 to pin number 28 will give you the port 2, and pin number 10 to pin number 17 will give you the port 3, and pin number 32 to pin number 32 to 39 will give you port 0. Okay, so all these 4 ports are nothing but the general IO ports. Okay, so first we will consider this pin number 1 to 8. All these 8 pins is allocated for port 1, which is used for general input output purposes. Clear? So initially when you are initializing your microcontroller, it will be in the output port stage. So it can act either as input or output, and it can act both as the input output also. And next, coming to the port 3, pin number 9, it is used for reset, that is RST is nothing but, here RST is nothing but reset. If once you are giving this reset condition, it is also called as the hardware interrupt condition, so that your microcontroller will start to restart its process again, and that is restart the commands again. The next one, you are going to you are coming to the port 3. It consists of pin number 10 to pin number 17, where these are nothing but, it consists of some serial communication pins, some interrupt pins and timer pins and read and write pins. All these things will be allocated over here. Okay, so when you are taking it, the serial, this RxD and TxD is called as the serial communication pins, and INT0 and INT1 is nothing but the interrupt pins. Okay, interrupt 0 and interrupt 1 pins, and this T0 and T1 corresponds to the timer pins, and read and write is corresponding to the read signal as well as write signal, which is allocated for the microcontroller. And the next one is pin number 18 and 19. This pin number 18 and 19 is for the connection of oscillators. I told you that the clock frequency have to be generated, right? So that will be generated using the oscillators, and that external oscillator will be connected by using these two pins. Pin number 20 is for ground. Okay, and then coming to the next section of your pins and signals, it starts from pin number 21 to pin number 28. I told you that these pins are allocated for the port 2, right? Port 2 consists of the higher order address bus signals. So this A8 to A15 tells you the higher order bits of the address bus signals. Okay, and the next one is PSEN, that is pin number 29 is nothing but program store enable pin. This pin number 29 is nothing but program store enable pin, where if your microcontroller wants to read any program from the external memory, then it has to use this pin. This is the low signal pin, and since it is low signal pin, it shows that if PSEN bar is equal to 0, then it will be enable over here. Okay, then coming to this 30, pin number 30, it is address latch enable. Address latch enable in the sense, here in this port 0 we can see AD0, AD1, AD2, right? So these are all called as the multiplexing of both address as well as data signals. So here when it is in multiplexing stage, if you want to demultiplex any signals, so for that purpose we are using this pin number 30 called address latch enable pin. Okay, then starting then pin number 31 is nothing but the external access pin. External access in the sense, we are not only using this internal memory or internal devices. We are using this. We can add external ROM also, right? So in that purpose, if you want to access any devices externally, so this pin has to be activated. Clear? So if EA bar is equal to 0, since it is low level signal, it will give you the output. That is, if external devices is acting upon it, it has to be 0. Then coming to the pin number 32 to 39, it gives you the port 0. As I told you already, this port 0 is nothing but the multiplexed pins. Multiplexed pins in the sense, the lower orders of address and data signals will be multiplexed along with that, multiplexed in this port. Okay, so these are all about the pins and signals of your 8051 microcontroller. Then coming to the internal block diagram of 8051 microcontroller, here we can what are all the sections, what are all the pins we have seen in that. So everything will be allocated in the block manner. So here you can see this is port 1 and port 3, port 0 and port 2, everything will be present along with its driver. So we will see in depth about each and every blocks in the upcoming session, and it consists of registers like B register, accumulator, temporary one, PSW, everything. All these registers are used to store the data temporarily over here. And RAM address register, and RAM is, I told you already, this RAM is used for data memory, and ROM is used for program memory over here. And program counter, this program counter is used to store the address of the next instruction which has been fetched over here. And the timing bar control circuit, generally your timing circuit is used to generate the time delay, as well as the control circuit, counter circuit is used to count the events which is happening outside the microcontroller during the process. And oscillators also, it contains of oscillators in order to generate the clock frequency which is required by this microcontroller. And in this ports, from port 0 to port 3, each and every port will be allocated with the individual latches. For example, this port 0 is connected with its own latch, and port 1 is connected with its own latch. So it shows that initially your ports will be in the output port. Okay, it can be act either input as well as output. So if you are writing 1 to this latch, it shows your ports. For example, if you are writing 1 to the latch which is connected to the port 0, then it shows that your port 0 is going to act in the input mode. Okay. So if you want to write any of the, if you want to act any of these ports in input mode, then you have to write latch 1 to that corresponding latch. Okay. So this is the process of connection of latch over there, and these are all nothing but the special function registers, and we will discuss in detail about all these special function registers one by one in the upcoming sessions. So this is nothing but the internal block diagram of your 8051 microcontroller. And now coming to the external block diagram, I told you that all internal blocks will be connected to the processor, which everything will be implemented in a single chip. So the ROM, on chip ROM is nothing but the internal ROM, internal program memory, and on chip RAM is internal data memory, and your timers, serial IO ports, and 4 IO ports which we have discussed, that is from port 0 to port 3, and bus control circuit, and your oscillator which is used to generate the clock frequency, and your interrupt control. Interrupt control in the sense we can get any external, there is a possibility of external interrupt or internal interrupts over here. So if external interrupt occurs, we are needed of controlling options and controlling signals. So in order to that, we are using interrupt control. We are also accommodating this interrupt control with the CPU over here. Clear? So all these components are connected by using the buses, which is called as the system bus. Generally, your system bus is divided into 3 types. One is address bus, data bus, as well as the control bus over here. Address bus, data bus, and control bus. Your address bus is used to transmit the addresses addresses from the processor to any other devices which is connected, which it requires, and data bus is used to transfer the data between all these devices, and your control bus is used to control the control signals which is provided, which is generated from the control unit. Clear? And coming to the quiz, just note down these questions, and this question have to be discussed in the upcoming in the next session when we are coming over here. Just note down the question and try to find out the answers of it. Okay. So the next topic what we are going to discuss in the next session is the IO ports of 8051 microcontroller. Thank you.